Welcome. We can get going. I hope the connection's okay. There's been a little bit of glitches on the technology this week, plus some other interesting stuff going on. So, whoever's in the room, please navigate yourself to the chat bar. Let us know that you're here. Crowdcast has changed recently, so just familiarize yourself with the buttons on the right. There's places you can ask questions, you can vote for each other's questions, you can see other participants. Let me know if there's ever any trouble with the sound or with your visual feed. It all looks good on my end. Now, welcome to the space. I'm very excited about this live stream tonight. Hi, Emily. Welcome, darling. How are you going? For quite a few reasons, I'm quite excited. So I'm very excited to have Letao come up and give us a reading, and I'll tell you why soon. But mainly, I found it a very interesting week. I thought this week was filled with discomfort, with a bit of chaos. There was a lot of emotions going around. The people that I were talking to, some of my students and some of my clients, were describing to me some very uncomfortable shifts, some very difficult transits to get through. A lot of them were speaking about not getting very clear answers from their guides as well. So if you're in the room, let me know what kind of week you've had. I feel like something's been building, and I think Letao is going to help us with that. I feel like for me personally, there was a lot of, I had to dig deep into some of my personal ideologies, into my patternings to try and find nuggets of gold to release me out of the patterns. So it seemed like a quite lucid time, but also a time where I was almost forced into introspection to really find out what was being drawn out of me and how to deepen my practice. So the awareness was there to guide me through into the depths of discomfort towards themes that are not easy for me. Hi, Emma. Welcome, darling. Let me know how your week's been going. And I recently had a reading with Letao. I reached out to him not long ago. And I wanted to speak very briefly before I introduce him and bring him up about the power of readings and the power of astrology, particularly when you're navigating your own healing journey, when you're developing your intuition, when you're studying to be a shaman, when you're developing your gifts. There'll be times along the journey that it will be difficult for you to see into themes where you're personally involved. Right. So in my own work, it's quite easy and effortless after training to help other people, serve other people, and be in front of them as they heal. But when you have to go into your own difficulties, there is a big barrier there, and it is your ego and it is your own wounding. So at times, I often reach out to the beautiful psychic readers that I know to help me deepen my awareness, to help me deepen my practice so that I can actually illuminate the parts of my life that are trying to change. And it's almost like when you're trying to solve all your own problems, only with the awareness you have, you can't quite see beyond the doors. The doors are closed. You're not really sure where the key is. You don't know what is behind each door. And most of the time we have fear around that. Now, when there's fear, it's hard to open that door. So when we collaborate and when we share with other people that have different skill sets from ours, we can actually learn how to open those doors more comfortably, with more safety, with more love, as someone guides us towards the areas that might have some, let's say, learning and lessons for us. So when I was in Hong Kong, I reached out to Letao and I very much needed some insight and some guidance to what I was doing there and what was in my heart and where I was going. Now, the beautiful thing is Letao's skill set is amazing. He's a spiritual counsellor, he's a psychic reader. He reads many different types of cards, which was amazing for me to get different perspectives. He also had my astrology chart sitting there on the side, and he was reading it all at once. And although I knew some of the themes and I'd seen some of it before, there was a completely different language set around what he was describing to me, which allowed for me a different perspective. So I could look at the parts of my life with different language and allow those doors to open so I could then find healing in the parts that I know I needed to heal or change or grow through. And it's no difference with an online reading. It's more that it helps you to shift your perspective. It often takes the problems that seem very big and you're only focusing on one, and it sort of blows them in and puts them in this beautiful map, which I find really, really beneficial. And then it helps you to integrate and change your narratives and thinking afterwards as well. So even my latest reading with Letao, I got all these perspectives and also a lot of comfort around areas that I was worried about. Then I could go away and do my own journeys and speak to my guides in a different way, which was hugely beneficial. So I am so grateful to have him here tonight. Okay, Emma's getting 80% increases in colourful orbs. So sounds like your visions are getting there, Emma, which is lovely. Emily, grand challenges to step up your self-care. Yeah, I've seen those themes coming through too. And witnessing your conditioned self-reaction without getting hijacked by it. Yeah, really interesting, really interesting. A lot of self-worth things coming up. So I will now get Letao up on stage for us. He's going to introduce himself. He's going to give us a group reading, and then there'll be time for you guys to get some individual stuff. I have a couple of people that can't make it tonight, and they would like some cards, I believe, too. So we'll make sure that they can hit the replay, and I will fade away into the distance and also just be super intrigued with what comes through, because I'd really like to know what this week has been about. So what I will do, if I can navigate the new system properly. Get ready with your questions, girls, too, if you would like. All right, so Letao, I'm inviting you now. Let me know if you don't get an invite. It should pop up. We are recording this to everyone, so if you hear something you like and want to return to, then just timestamp it in the chat bar so you know where to come back to. So it might just be something that was really interesting. It might be something that you feel related to where you're at. It might be something that you think someone else would like. Hi, Letao.
Hi, hello, Heather. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Really good to see you. Yeah.
You too. Yeah. Very good to see you again.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to your what you call this, your monthly or your weekly chat with your followers and the people. Hi, hello, Emily. So, I'm really honored to be here. And like what Heather said earlier, so Heather was traveling in Hong Kong, I think several weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
It was, several weeks ago. Yeah. And so we had this opportunity to meet, and I was very fortunate to be able to give Heather a reading. And to me, it's always an interesting experience when other healers and maybe they're also readers themselves, or they're shamans, and they come to, maybe they travel in Hong Kong and they find me because they feel they also need a little bit of guidance. Yeah. And so for me, it's a little bit like a mutually empowering experience for me, because when I am observing other readers and other spiritual practitioners go through their own difficulties and challenges, it's like an enlightened experience for me. It's, you can always find similar experience in there, and the things that because at the same time, while we're giving, but also we need to receive. So it's a little bit like that. Yeah. And so, first of all, thank you very much, everyone, for having me here today. First of all, just a very quick introduction about who I am. So my name is Letao. I'm located in Hong Kong, and I have been in Hong Kong for about 12 years. I've been providing astrology and card readings and counseling for clients here and also overseas by Zoom and online readings. Actually, I have my story with Australia went all the way back to my 20s because I actually went to a university in Australia years ago, right? I went to Macquarie Uni. So if you're from New South Wales, you will know. Yeah, it's in Sydney. Well, because of other reasons, I left. So far, it's been many years. And I always have this very strong, what do you call that, like affinity, yeah, towards Australia. And before COVID, I would travel to Sydney once a year. I should explore a little bit more, all over Australia, but because, my friends, most of them live in New South Wales, so usually that's where I would go. Always been very grateful and impressed by this beautiful country. And hopefully, next year I'll have this opportunity to visit again. And hopefully, Heather, we can see each other again in somewhere, maybe in Brisbane or somewhere that's close by, close to you.
Oh yeah, if you're in the country, I'm gonna make sure we can collaborate and sit with my students, and for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, that would be amazing, yeah. And so, today I'd like to talk about, quickly talk about 3 different topics, with you guys, because I think earlier Heather also mentioned some clients of hers were also experiencing this, emotional ups and downs, and they're feeling, there's a lot of things changing, and you guys were very right, because this month a lot of things are happening in this July in 2023. And the first thing I think maybe many of you are already aware of, which is the new moon in Cancer. And I guess that's the reason why we're having this video today. If you're in Australia, the actual new moon in Cancer will happen actually on Tuesday. If you read it online, I think it's depending on the country. Yeah, in Hong Kong, it's actually going to start at 2:33 a.m. on Tuesday. So most of us will be asleep. So when you wake up, it will be in the morning. Of course, a lot of the website will also say it's on Monday. Yeah, but Monday, I guess it will be because you're in the States, because you are like literally 12 hours out, behind us and things like that. And so one of the things about this new moon in Cancer, it's about how you set your intentions and how you bring your manifestation. One of the important things is you need to know what Cancer is about. And so you know what kind of wishes you need to make and what kind of intentions you need to set during this powerful new moon. Cancer, by the way, just want to ask, any Cancerians in this meeting now? Anyone who's has sun sign in Cancer or moon sign in Cancer?
I'm only Cancer rising.
Cancer rising, that's also important, yeah. Or any Cancer rising, yeah. Okay, maybe we can check it later if you don't. Yeah, because most people, Cancer rising, very nice. Yeah. And so if you're Cancer rising, then this new moon would be happening in the first house of your astrological wheel. The first house is literally about your physical being in this world. Okay, it's talking about who you are and your physical body that you can actually touch. And so when this new moon in Cancer happens, it's really prompting us to think about what kind of new beginnings that we want to have, yeah. And when we talk about the new moon wishes, we're talking about something that you will have 6 months time to achieve, because usually this wish and manifestation is about from the new moon in Cancer until full moon happens in Cancer. And full moon usually happens in Cancer in January. So we're talking about the next 6 months from July until next January. You have 6 months time to fulfill basically this wish. Now, if you're a Cancer rising, I would say for most of you guys, this Cancer new moon will be in your first house, unless you were born at the very end degrees of Cancer, then this new moon will be happening in your 12th house. But that's rather rare, yeah. And so maybe I would say focus on your wishes, on who you want to be and what you want to transform. It's a little bit like this is about you. Yeah, this is not about other people. This is not about your mother, your father, your friends, your husband. This is about you, your identity. And now some people might say, yeah, but Letao, new moon happens every month. What's special about this new moon, right? Why are we talking about this? Next month, we're having another new moon in Leo, right? And so the interesting thing about this new moon is because this new moon actually happens right opposing the planet of Pluto. Pluto right now is around 28, 29 degrees in Capricorn, and this new moon is around 25 degrees in Cancer. So in the sky, you will realize that this new moon is happening on the opposite side of the sky, opposing Pluto. And again, so what is Pluto? Pluto is all about death and rebirth. It's about transformation. And so this new moon is almost like, the power is being doubled there. It's telling you that, okay, it's not just about a new beginning, but also what you're ready to release, what you're ready to let go of. It's a little bit like that kind of energy, yeah? And especially for your sun sign birthday, if you were born around mid-July, let's say July the 10th until the 20th, yeah? Also mid-January, mid-April, and mid-October. If your birthday is within those 10 days in those 4 different months, I would say this new moon in Cancer is very, very important to you. Yeah. So for any of you guys who have birthdays on those days, definitely, I think, take some time on Tuesday to maybe write down your wishes. So write down your wishes, maybe do a little bit meditation, or I'm sure maybe Heather also, has shared many of her practices with you guys, about, how to do meditation and how to, work on your manifestation. So this is the first thing that is very potent in terms of the energy in 2023, this month. The second thing that I want to talk about why it's very intense at this moment is because literally this week we're seeing the changing signs of the lunar nodes. So the lunar nodes actually, they don't change signs very often. Actually, they only change signs once every about 18 months. So a year and a half. So if they're not like new moon, it happens every month. And literally today, the north node of the moon is actually in 0 degrees in Taurus. So depending on whether you are, you are using the true node or the mean node, because in astrology also astrologers have different opinions about which node to use. But usually they're kind of like similar in terms of timing, yeah, maybe several days late. And so some astrologers think the lunar node has already changed signs and now, and maybe they think maybe has changed several days ago. Based on my calculation, because I'm using the true node, so the changing sign is also going to be either today or tomorrow. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Yes, exactly, tropical astrology, correct, Emma. And so this change of node, it really brings this universal cosmic shift into our lives. Now, sometimes this could be very, very personal to all of us, especially if you were born, let's say around the end of April and also the beginning of May, because then your birthday was literally on the cusp of Taurus and Aries. And so these changing signs of the node will literally affect your solar energy. Or of course, if your moon sign is around the end of Aries and the beginning of Taurus, that would also count. And so we need to talk a little bit about, so what does this mean to our society? Now, the north node of the moon has been staying in Taurus for the past 1.5 years, and the south node has been staying in Scorpio. By the way, any Scorpio people in this chat room? Any Scorpios? No. Okay, good. Because when South Node was transiting in Scorpio for the past 18 months, South Node is always talking about the things that we must release because it's our comfort zone. Because we have been relying in our, let's put it this way, naturally what we are drawn to, what we're feeling comfortable with for too long. So whenever the South Node comes to your sun or your moon, it's usually saying that there's something that you must shift in your life. And so at a very high level, if we're not talking about our individuals, what does Scorpio rule in our human society? The first thing that I can think of is Scorpio rules mutual mutual resource, or let's say, other people's finance or other people's talent. And so one of the things about mutual finance and other people's money is about banking, because literally banks are about getting other people's money into the bank, and I'm using everyone's money to do my own investment, and I earn more, and I bring this money back, I give to everyone else as interest. That's what banks are about. And because Scorpio actually rules banks in astrology, and so when South Node was transiting in Scorpio during the past 18 months, we were able to see the collapse of many banks in the world. You saw what happened in the States. You saw what happened in Asia. A lot of the banks suddenly just one day, bang, they're closed. They're out of money, right? And that was basically the South Node transit in Scorpio was all about. And it was very interesting because, we always talk about this, what happens in the sky, it is what is happening on the ground. We call that, what do you call that again? As above, so below. Yeah, this is sort of like the thing that we as astrologers, we always believe in. It's a little bit very interesting. Last year, I was watching this news about a guy traveling in Greece, in Mykonos, and he accidentally fell into like a construction hole or something. Yeah, in the behind a bar, and this bar's name was Scorpio. So, how appropriate was that? You fall into this deep hole, which is called Scorpio. And so this is a little bit like telling you that, okay, there's certain things maybe that needs to be shifted in the banking industry. Banks might need to change. They need to change their structure. They need to change their mentality. They need to change their management. It's a little bit like that. Now, that has already passed. So what about the future, everyone? What's going to happen in the next 18 months? The South Node will be transiting in Libra. The North Node will be in Aries. So let's look at what Libra is about. Libra is all about relationships. It's about collaboration, cooperation. The second thing that Libra rules is justice. And that is why if you do tarot, if you study tarot, you will know the number 11 card in the tarot deck is called justice and is ruled by Libra. And so my prediction over the next 18 months is probably we're going to see tremendous shift in our legal system. Now, of course, we haven't entered this yet, so I will leave this to all of you guys to judge whether my prediction is accurate or not. I have this very strong feeling about there's certain things in our legal system. Maybe it's going to be on the news about our law, about how our justice system works, because it's all ruled by Libra in our reality. How these things might shift and change over the next 18 months. There could be, things related to, for example, even marriage, because Libra also rules our marriage. Maybe marriage law, yeah. Things countries might, decide that, okay, we used to have marriage law like this, but now we want to change because people are protesting, people are unhappy with it, things like that, yeah. Now, this changing signs of lunar node, I would definitely say, if you are an Aries, you're a Libra. If you're Taurus and you're a Scorpio, especially you're around the cusp of those signs, yeah. And I would say definitely this shifting energy could also be seen or be felt in your daily life, yeah. So Emily says, I'm Libran on the cusp with Scorpio. Yeah, very good. So you are probably at around the end, yeah, maybe October the 20th, 21st, 19th, something like that, yeah. So definitely, so the South Node will transit your sun sign very, very soon. And so probably, Emily, I would say that over the next, let's say 6 months, yeah, ahead of you, there could be certain things regarding either your own sense of justice, what is fair to you, yeah, what is your sense of fairness and justice, or this could be related to your own sense of relationship. What is relationship to you, and what does that mean? Yeah, there could be a shift in terms of your philosophy about them. And when you're feeling those, there are certain things happening in your life that are triggering you. Just to go back to the self and think, okay, maybe this is not about me fighting against it, but it's more about how maybe I need to see this from a different perspective, etc., etc. Yeah, of course, this is not a personal reading. Yeah, so I'll just give you this general thing. Yeah. Okay, now I want to go to the third topic, which is the last topic I want to talk about for all of you guys. The third thing is actually very immediate. It's called the Venus retrograde. Now, if you guys follow astrology blogs and things like that, you know that Venus is going to retrograde very soon. Actually, I think it's starting this week. Venus has already come to a halt, actually, yeah, now. So it's not really moving much because in order to go backward, it needs to stop first and then go backward. And so for the next 2 to 3 months, Venus is going to start to go through this retrograde. And as you might know, Venus does not retrograde very often. It's not like Mercury 3 times a year, right? Venus only retrogrades usually once every 2 years, sometimes maybe even a little bit longer. And so whenever Venus is in retrograde, again, this is a little bit like the suspended energy. Yeah, it's a little bit something is being suspended there. Now, what does Venus rule in our life? Again, Venus rules 2 things. One is relationship, one is money. Now, those 2 things are under Venus power. Yeah, and especially earlier we talked about Libra energy. Yeah, South sort of entering Libra, and this is something sort of like in conjunction with Venus because both these 2 things have something to do with relationship and love. And so for any of you guys or ladies, yeah, if you are actually experiencing a little bit of confusion when it comes to personal relationships, love, marriage, things like that, during this period of time, one of the most important thing is to do anything that has RE at the very beginning of the word. I don't know if I'm clear about that, yeah? Because retrograde is about going backward. So anything is something would be good for you to do during this period of time. For example, revisit, reassess, review, yeah, rather than keep going forward, push. Now, sometimes Venus retrograde will bring us a potential love if you're looking for love and single. It's possible, but one of the advice that I can give to you guys is during Venus retrograde, what you need to do is just to review. And it's not just about review yourself, but also, it's not just about review them, but also review yourself. Why you're attracted to that person? Are we repeating similar patterns from the past? It's a little bit like that, yeah? It doesn't not mean that everyone you meet during this period of time are not for you. But it does tell you that you must take your time to really understand what's happening. And after October, actually Venus will finish its retrograde around September, but Venus will still be in shadow period. And this is also quite important. So when Venus really leaves its shadow period and go full momentum forward will be the first week of October. And so anyone that you want to be with, you want to start a new relationship with, wait until October to really make that decision. Very good, yeah? Okay, so those are the 3 very, very important things happening in this month's time. Yeah, New Moon in Cancer opposing Pluto. The changing signs of the lunar nodes happening this week, and Venus retrograde starting this week, yeah? Hopefully this has offered some useful insights for you guys, yeah. And so that would be the a quick information about what's the celestial movement, yeah.
Thank you so much. I've got a whole page of notes.
Very good, yeah. Absolutely, you're very welcome, yeah. And so the next thing is Heather wants me to pull some cards for you guys if you have some questions you want to ask or something that you want to, just to get some general ideas. Yeah. So I do have a deck of cards in my hands. I think this could be very good. In order to make this easy, because we are online and you can't really pull the cards, maybe we can just go maybe one by one, or anyone who has a question. I want you to ask a question first, and then I'd like you to give me a number between 1 and 52. And I will pull that card out for you. Yeah. Okay, so Emily has the first question. Yeah, let's have a look. I wonder what growth there is for me to travel and live overseas in the next couple of years. I don't know where I want to go. I feel a block to envisioning it. Number 17. Okay, so Emily, may I see this as you having a wish to relocate or leaving to live overseas, but you haven't really how do I describe it? You haven't had a concrete plan yet. Let's put it this way. Is that correct? Okay. So Emily, you want number 17. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will pull the 17th card from the top for you, and that will be the guidance. Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So number 17, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Ready? Let's have a look. Yeah. Wow. This card actually is very interesting. I think it's perfect for your question. It's called time to go.
Ooh.
You can't make this stuff up, seriously. This is like you're asking about a question about leaving, and you get a card called time to go. Now, here's the thing, Emily. Yeah. Now, this card usually tells you that if you have been considering this relocation or moving for a long time, you probably will need to do that sooner than later, because time to go, this card tells you that probably whatever that you can achieve or whatever you can do in your current location has somehow come to an end. It does not mean that the current place is no longer working out for you, but it does mean that there are something much better that is a little bit far away from you, and you do need to actually have the courage to go through that door. Can you see there's a door there? And there's a bridge. So you're walking through the bridge to that door, to a new world where there is treasure waiting for you. And also what is interesting about this card is this card's number is called 45. Can you see that? Yeah. So what is special about this number? Yeah. Well, 4 plus 5 is 9. And 9 is the final number in numerology. So when you come to this 9 number, it tells you that your current cycle is coming to an end. And so there's a new cycle waiting for you. So when you say, I wonder what growth there is for me to travel and live overseas. Well, Emily, the card tells you that all the growth and development for you are waiting for you overseas, basically. Yeah. And so what you do need to do is you do need to have the courage to release whatever that has been in the past holding you back. And then you will be able to, once you really do that, let's put it this way, once you make the first step, and you're naturally going to see where the next step is. Put it in a funny way, yeah? So a little bit like that kind of energy. Very nice, okay? So, very good.
Can I, Letao, I've got one of the members, she can't make it tonight, but
no problem, yeah.
I'll put it in the chat bar. She'd love a card if you could pull one for her career.
What does she do you know?
So she's just finished a Bachelor of Psychology.
Oh, okay. So she's looking for jobs.
Yeah, looking for direction and jobs.
Direction.
Okay. Use it.
So she has already finished her study, but she hasn't started working yet, yeah? Okay.
That's right.
So Heather, maybe you know this person very well, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of this person in your own mind and choose a number for her? What number do you think that she would like, or that is for her?
Let's go with 24.
24 for this. Is it a lady?
Yes.
Okay, let's pull 24 for this lady. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's interesting. I love this. Okay, this card is called Chop Wood. Have a look. Yeah, it's very interesting. Did you say she's how old is she? Do you know how old is she? No idea.
I'm not sure how old.
Not sure. Oh, okay. So let me explain a little bit about this energy. Why she got this one. Chop wood. Yeah. If she was sitting here with me, I would actually say to her it's not really about finding the one or the job or the career, at this moment. And finally, I realized this is my sole career, then I will finally do it. Chop wood, as all of you are very familiar with, it's a very mundane thing to do. It's almost like a chore every day you do it. Every day you just chop the wood, right? And because you need that to burn fire or whatever for the hearth at home or whatever that is. Even when you look at the picture of this photo, there's a broom. There's almost like a house that you need to clean, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that kind of energy. Chop wood tells you that sometimes the most amazing thing in your life right now is not about the glamour. It's not about what kind of this 100% fulfillment that you need. But it's more about what you can do now at a very mundane level to bring your practicality and your, what's the right word? Your productivity, let's put it this way. And amazing things will actually happen when you are actually experiencing this daily productivity. and then inspirations will come to you, and you're going to meet interesting people. You're going to open more doors for you, and then you're going to realize, that's what I need, or that direction what I want. I'll give you a very, like, for example, as an example, she could be actually working in a job that she might think is a little bit like chopping wood, or it's too mundane, or it's not interesting enough, or it's not glamorous enough. But while she was focusing on those daily operations, she will be able to actually meet interesting people and experience more things. And that will open her mind, and she will be able to know, that I met that person the other day and he or she said something to me. Now I understand, maybe I need to do that. It's a little bit like that. So this card tells her that it's important that she goes through a little bit like that kind of mundane operation on a daily basis, rather than thinking I need to figure out what my passion is first, then I'll finally pursue it. Because sometimes passion cannot, or this calling cannot come to us if we refuse to experience life.
Very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, so someone else? Anyone else? Heather for Lori?
Yep, so that's the one we just did.
Oh, we just did, yeah, okay.
Yep. Does anybody else that wants a card? So Emma would like a card.
Emma, spiritual development, okay. So Emma, can you tell me a little bit about, what kind of spiritual study or improvement you're doing at this moment? Oh, sorry. So can you hear me now? So I'm basically, so I'm asking, so what kind of spiritual development you're doing now for yourself? Let's say, are you doing any spiritual studies? Are you, of course, I believe that, attending Heather's workshop, it's a part of your study for sure. But what do you usually do for your spiritual, let's say, health? Yeah.
There could be a time delay for her.
Here, meditation. Is that meditation? Yeah, meditation. Yeah. And studying with Heather's workshop later this month, when you improve myself, love, career, and physical health. I'm 20. Oh, okay. So you're very good, Emma. I think you really started early. A lot of us didn't even realize we have a spiritual side until, a little bit later. Yeah. So that's a great thing, I think. Yeah. Very good. Very good. So Emma, let's maybe pull a card for you. So give me a number between 1 and 52. 28. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Emma, are you ready? Are you ready? People are nervous. It's like, I'm ready. No. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So, Emma, I love this energy for you. Obviously, I don't really know you and I can't see you, but it's very funny that you ask a question, that is more spiritual rather than, it's for example, it's about money. It's about, my safety, things like that. Because this card you pulled out is called Imagine. If I have to find one card that is about spirituality, that would be this one. Because Imagine is not about what we see on a mundane, daily life, but Imagine is about your own spiritual power. It's about what you're visualizing actually in your mind. Emma, do you mind telling me what your star sign is? What is your sun sign? If you don't know, you can tell me your birthday. Oh, okay. Okay, so Aquarius, yeah. January the 23rd has already entered Aquarius. Okay, that's the very beginning of Aquarius, which is very interesting because, Aquarius actually rules the study of astrology. Well, this cannot be more appropriate. Okay, so imagine this card basically tells you that probably one of the things you need to do is about visualization. Tell the universe what you truly want in your mind, and through your meditation, you're already doing meditation. I think that's really, really good. And so this card really tells you to bring all these ideas into your mind, and don't underestimate what you can imagine in your mind, what you can call them into. I would definitely say that, every month, every new moon, definitely, if you have the luxury to do that, definitely do your monthly journal. The new moon journal is a very powerful tool to manifest what you want, especially when you have this imagine card. It's almost like what you want. You put your intentions out there, the universe will hear you. Yeah, I like this energy very, very much. It's almost like you have this very strong mental power there to connect and to convey, your ideas. The last day of the dragon in Chinese astrology. My was basically 50% Aquarius. Yeah. I think sidereal astrology is more Indian, right? Or that's Vedic. I think Vedic is the Indian one, Indian astrology. Yeah. So it's a little bit like a different system, but yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, sorry, I didn't know you were actually on medication. Yeah, I don't know what kind of medication you're on, but definitely I'll say, to be honest, I've had a client who come to me and they are on medication because they have seen not psychologists, but psychotherapists, you know what I mean? Because they were prescribed, medications and things like that. Sometimes they say the same thing. They feel the medication, they're on the medication, but they don't feel good when they're taking them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so find that balance. Well, I wish I were a doctor, but next life maybe. Yeah. All right. So the last, it's a couple degrees, different topic. Oh yeah. Okay, great. So the last question I think is from was that Emily or someone? Vanessa. Sorry, the last question is from Vanessa. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just do the last question. Yeah. Vanessa says, I'm not sure of a question, but would like to love a card. No problem. Okay, Vanessa. So. 1 second, let me just shuffle a little bit. Vanessa, can you maybe give me a number between 1 and 52? I'll pull that out for you. You want 17? Okay, very good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Okay. Vanessa, are you ready? Very good. Okay. Now this card is called a thinker. Have a look. Yeah. The beautiful girl sitting there and looks like she's contemplating something. I'm going to talk about this card from also very interesting. The number is 44. You see that? The 44 is a master number in numerology, 44. Yeah. Vanessa, I don't know what you are going through at this moment, but usually thinker, this energy is a little bit telling you that at this moment, probably you will need to use more of your left brain rather than your right brain, if you know what I mean. So basically what I'm trying to say is thinking in spirituality is the opposite element or energy of feeling. Because thinking is logical, it's the air element. It's ruled by Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. It's about analyzing. The opposite of thinking is feeling, and feeling is a water element. It's ruled by Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And so this thinker card tells you that it's very, very important for you to know how to balance these two elements in you. Are you feeling too much and not thinking enough? Or are you doing the opposite, vice versa? Most times when client is pulling that card is because they're feeling too much. Maybe they're not in control of their emotion, or when they're dealing with certain things in their life, they tend to go to the emotional reaction rather than the logical reaction. And so sometimes this thinker tells us to use the logical mind, the rationality in dealing with life at this moment more, rather than being attached to our feelings too much. I'm not saying feeling is a wrong thing. I think feeling is very, very important, especially I think if you're an empath. if you're in a profession that you need to hear people's feelings and you need to become more in tune with other people's feelings. I don't know, Vanessa, your profession. I don't know if you need to deal with people's emotion, regularly. But also, just in case if you do, whether it's at the professional level or maybe you're dealing with family members who are very emotional around you, this card also tells you always maintain your neutrality, is that a word? Yeah, to find not to be engulfed by other people's emotions, so that you can see through things clearly and not lose your balance there. Yeah, so that's the meaning of this card. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yay! Thank you so much, Letao.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Heather, for having me. Yeah. I hope everyone had a great time today.
Yeah, we always
Yeah.
have a great time. Thank you for explaining a lot of those big astrological transits as well, because I knew something was happening and I thought I'm just going to wait till Sunday and then you'll explain most of it for me.
Yeah. So I just want to also just share with everyone. Actually, so I talk about these astrological transit and also upload things on my own Instagram. So I'll leave my Instagram here. So if you guys want to check them out, I'll just type in the chat, the Letao. Yeah. And so you can find me on Instagram and you can just see them. Yeah, usually I try to update as frequently as I can. Yeah, sometimes I just do a short post. Yeah, and I will write what is important this week. Sometimes I will actually do a video. Yeah, and but this July definitely is a little bit intense. So everyone also have their self-care, all that kind of routines we have to do, right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, and Heather, we'll catch up with you later. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be calling you soon. That's for sure.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Yeah, bye bye.
All right. So, how are we all feeling? Does any of that need clarification? I'm here for you guys for another 10-15 minutes. If you would like any expansion, if you are feeling anything or experiencing anything, particularly if you want a shamanic perspective, please let me know. Otherwise, we have that beautiful replay there. We can watch over any time. What I'll be doing, I've written some notes and I'll be putting sort of some of those concepts and ideas into my meditation practice, and I'll be ready on Tuesday to set some intentions, particularly for the signs that he said we'll be feeling those shifts and the areas in our life we're likely to feel them. And then you have your individual cards as well. But on Tuesday, let's send out into the universe what we wish, as Letao said, what we long for, what we crave. And get the journals out. So however you get to clarity in your mind is important, because the universe will back you on the new moon. So if you're finding it hard to make decisions or to find clarity on things in your life, the journal is an excellent way to do it. Some people need to talk out loud. Some people need to do it through conversation. You do it your way. If you need to paint it out, sing it out, whatever that means, get the energy through your body. So when that new moon hits, Monday or Tuesday, whenever it feels like it's in that darkest part for you, that's when we sit down and we say to the universe, these are my intentions for the next cycle. This is what my heart desires. This is what I long for. These are the things that feel right to me. And we set those intentions from that beautiful intentional space where we're clear and we're close to our higher self or our guides. We want that bond to be very close, like we can feel them around us. They know they can hear us. And the beauty of that is, let's say in a week's time, in a month's time, in 6 months' time, when you're not feeling super connected, you're out there, you're stressed, you've got everyday life going on, your spirits will remember the intention that you set in clarity and in love, not the erratic thoughts that come to you when you're distressed. So these moons create like intensity for us so that we can work with our guides and with source and with nature at a more intense phase, and we can have those veils very thin. So I hope you get there on Monday or Tuesday. Please reach out if you need anything, of course. That's what the Patreon portal is for. Send me a message or an email, request some content. I'll be doing another channeled message soon. And I'm very grateful for Letao for coming in and sharing his wisdom and his genius with us. And I hope you guys loved that. Please reach out to him if you want to expand or have a reading or just celebrate what he's doing or like his Instagram, whatever it is for you, you do you. We love you so much. Thank you for being here. Happy new moon. Go well. And I will see you very soon. Enjoy the replay. Thanks, guys. Thank you.